Hello and welcome to Talking Really. Today's talking point is going to be talking about disability hate crime and how that has affected me personally, being a YouTuber and a Thailand travel vlogger. Hello and welcome, and today I want to have a chat about disability hate crime. The responsibility of people to report it. If you see it, if you hear it, if you read it, don't just walk away. Don't just ignore it. Quite commonly people say, oh, it's nothing to do with me. I don't want to get involved. But unfortunately, you need to. The only way that we're going to stamp out the prejudiced and ignorant people is if they are taken to court and prosecuted, because disability hate crime and any other hate crime is actually legally prosecutable, and there is a punishment of imprisonment which people forget. They just think, oh well, they'll call somebody a name, they'll take the mickey out of somebody, and everything is okay with that. The problem is that hate crime has been slowly growing, and it's risen within 1/3 in the last year in England and Wales. And there's a report in The Independent and a video which I'm going to play part of, which is about some people's experiences of suffering hate crime.
This is Sam's mom. Sam is a male, Sam is a female, black and white, a child and an adult. Sam is all those people with a learning disability or autism who encounter hate crime in the course of their everyday lives. Every one of the following testimonials is real.
Sam has been called names, mocked, excluded from social events and team games, sat alone on coach trips, been verbally abused by a classmate and the child's mother. Sam has been at the end of very serious threats to her life, been spat at and laughed at in the street near home. Sam has been beaten, abused, paid for protection, and had things damaged and stolen from her. The police took weeks to interview Sam, and by then it was too late for her to be reliable. I think people are choosing not to prosecute cases because it's so hard to get a conviction. Sam has repeatedly been called offensive names in public and been struck by a stranger. I've had comments like Sam should be locked in a cage. Adults were crowding round Sam's wheelchair, shouting abuse, telling him to shut up. He's been bullied at school and by the public, mocking his disabilities. Every time I left the house with Sam, I'd be called names. The two lads would make animal noises. I've had my car vandalised 3 times.
Well, when I knew something wasn't right is when they were name calling. Like calling me dopey, spazzo and stupid, idiot, pervert, for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason was for that, but even so. You think they're your friend, but really the reality is they're not your friend. They're just using you as a scapegoat to get what they want. It made me feel angry, upset, hurt by the fact that they could get away with this. I came home one afternoon back from mum doing the shopping. My mum and my stepfather took me shopping, and I found a load of kids on my balcony. Well, there was one time when they threw eggs at my windows. I had to clean them all off. I reported to the local police. They did nothing about it. There's nothing they can do. I was in bed one night, and I could see a bright light outside, orange light, and it was the flames from the bin shed, which was underneath my flat. I think many people were a target. There was another fellow with a learning disability. He was targeted too. So it wasn't just me. Well, my message to them, well, you don't know what's around the next corner. You could have a baby or a child with a disability. How would you like it if someone did that to your family or any of your friends? Wouldn't be very nice now, would it? Well, that's how I used to feel. And that's how people like that made me feel.
There are 1 million people with learning disabilities in the UK, and 3/4 of people Dimension asked told us they had been victims of a hate crime like those suffered by Alex, Richard and the rest. It's just not right.
And I've been subjected to abuse for 2 years now because I'm a YouTuber. I make videos on YouTube, and I'm getting increasing numbers of comments which fall into the category of hate crime, hate speech and abuse. And to be fair, I've been called all sorts of names, including the fact that they think that I am educationally low IQ and I have learning difficulties, when in actual fact people with cerebral palsy are actually quite intelligent usually, and I fall in that category. Now obviously they'll turn around to me and say, "Why are you bragging about your intelligence again?" That's another feature that they focus on. The problem with abuse is that there are several levels of abuse. There are the verbal abuse, the comment that they make, the bullying tactics of calling you names, and then there's the more serious ones of threats, the psychological threats, the ones where they say, "Oh, we're going to report you to the DWP for benefit scrounging, you're a benefit scrounger, you need to get a job." When in actual fact I have a job. I work as many hours as I can do. Before I had my physical problems, my back surgery, I was doing 75 hours a week in my own business, and I still have my own business, and I still work every day as much as I can. YouTube is not really a business. It's not really a paid employment, not yet. I get very little money from it, and yes, it is included in my business plan. I make videos, I sell videos, and the DWP benefits I get pay for my car, which I'm entitled to. I've been to many different assessments and different meetings, and I qualify for those benefits. So having somebody tell you all the time that they're going to report you for benefit scrounging and that you're a benefit scrounger is abuse. The other forms are physical abuse, so threats of physical abuse, which again I've had from several people. They are mentally ill people if they can physically abuse a disabled person, and honestly, morally, justify it. I think that the whole thing of abuse we can look at is that has risen by 1/3 in a year in England and Wales. New figures have been released that the 33% of hate crime has been reported increase in this year over last year, and 32 of the 43 police forces have said that they've had 5,342 hate crimes compared to 4,000 the previous year. Besides the fact that YouTube itself has its own cyberbullying rules, and as far as I can tell, I've been subjected to 3 of those. What does YouTube do about it? Very little. I'm only one person, and for me to stand up and defend myself, which I'm doing, requires YouTube to get off his arse and support me in that matter. It also means that these keyboard warriors who can hide behind a fake account can actually do this anonymously and get away with it, because Google, YouTube are basically non-contactable. They have reports of abuse and they do nothing. This is why people like Bender, who is a prolific offender of abuse, and he has a record for this because his YouTube channels have been removed several times, and according to information I have had, he was told that it was a lifetime ban, but he's still here and still abusing people. What I'm talking about today is the disabled people out there who have to suffer abuse. It's just not good enough, and what I'm saying to you as a normal, moral, upstanding person in the world, you need to recognise that it's not right. Now I'm going to show you some comments. We're on a video, and the video was basically made to humiliate me, and the comments on there got increasingly worse and offensive, and these are all people that should know better, and actually nobody reported that video for abuse. So when you look at the authorities, reporting it to the police is a good thing, so I do encourage you to do that. But I have been told myself that if it's not physical, then it's only words, and keep a record of it, but they're not going to do very much. And if you're involved in that and you see hate crime taking place, you need to recognise it. You need to understand that it's wrong, it's illegal, and you should report it. There is no excuse for abuse. Victims must know that they need not suffer in silence. With the right tools, we can help them to report these crimes to the police when they do experience hate crime. As I said earlier, my experience of reporting hasn't been positive. The problem that I'm suffering with the YouTube channel is that some of these are not living in the UK. And of course then there is additional problems with cross-country authorities and laws as well. But there are laws in most countries for cyberbullying, and because this is actually a YouTube issue, then YouTube is actually worldwide, and these cyberbullying rules, they apply in every single country that YouTube exists. And to just urge you to report everything you see, and please don't get involved in it, because it's hate, and hate breeds hate, and there's too much hate in the world. If you concentrate on your own lives rather than somebody else's, and try to do what I've done and get on with your life and make something of it, then you'll probably do a lot better in the world. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.